Hi guys, this is Alex with Milk Crate Garage, and today we're going to be working on the steering column of my 1973 Opel GT. The issue I'm having is it's kind of the steering wheel has some play in it. You could tell it's loose, and I believe that there's 3 bolts that hold the aluminum kind of, I guess it's like a hub piece to the steel part of the column, and we're going to be taking a look at those today. So you're going to need a steering wheel puller, you're going to need a 15mm socket or ratchet or wrench. My puller uses a 16mm for that part, a Phillips screwdriver, some other miscellaneous tools, and yeah, let's get to it. First, you start with pulling off the horn button, which just pops right off, no issue. And then you're going to need to pull the center nut off. It's a 15mm. Normally these would have come with a lock washer that has bent tabs that you bend back before you can pull the nut off. Unfortunately, mine went missing and I was unable to find a replacement, so I just think I used Loctite and just an ordinary washer right there. So we start by pulling that off. Okay. And then we need to use the puller. Now the style that is required for this, I mean, you can get other styles, but they don't work all that well. It's this kind. It has this kind of cast or forged piece with the slotted holes, and then the threaded part in the middle, and then the main part is these hooked pieces right here. These are very important. Mine, I kind of ground the tips down to make them a little bit more oval so that they fit into these holes more easily. And then additionally, I ground marks into the heads of them so that you could tell which way the hooks are facing, because it's important. On a GT, these hooks have to face inwards. On another Opel like a Manta, you have to face them outwards, otherwise they will just tear up the steering wheel hub. So to insert the puller, I stick the hooks in one direction like so, and then you just pop them in, and then I give them a quarter turn so that the marks face the inside, and then you kind of put a little bit of tension on, and then I have a little cone-shaped piece that centers on the steering shaft. I basically just insert that as well to back the threaded shaft off so it'll actually fit. Okay, and then start tightening it down. Make sure it's all still in place and not gonna move around. Make sure these are kind of an equal distance apart from that center hub, and then just tighten it down. You'll feel it get snug. So let's say right there it's snug. I give it another quarter turn, and that just popped right off. That was actually easier than I thought it would be. So the whole hub will just come right off. You don't need to remove the horn ring or any of this stuff. This can stay in place. Just pull gotta return those hooked parts to one side, pop it out, and then your steering wheel hub, while you got this off, you always check to make sure this plunger is in good shape. Springs back, it's not too badly worn, it's nice and shiny, that's good. This brass ring, it looks shiny, it's good. If you're having issues with your horn staying on all the time, this ring has a wire on the back of it. So you pull that little spring off. So basically you've got a wire that's right there. If that wire gets grounded up against this aluminum, your horn will be permanently on, and you have to basically insulate it or just kind of disconnect the horn from at the horn to get the horn not to stay on all the time until you fix this. So that little tab goes into this slot right here. There's also a little metal ring right there that goes in there. This is like a kind of like a little, almost like a bearing, but not exactly a bearing. That's how that goes. This piece actually has a slot in it. You have to kind of compress it to get it to fit in there. Well, we can always figure that out later. So you can see this part is just flopping around, and we got to pull this metal, I guess, dust cover off. There's 3 screws that hold it on. I believe one is right there, and there's one like over there and over there. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll see if I can pull all those out to get access to that. This 69 style turn signal stock, you have to get that kind of loose out of there, and I don't pull it out all the way because there's a wire running down the center, but I just turn it counterclockwise until it unthreads, and then carefully not to tear the wire. It gets loose, and then it's good to go. I pull this little piece of rubber out to give it more clearance. That way you can actually pull it completely out. So let's try pulling that metal shield off. Use a Phillips. Needing to move the camera so I can get a good view of this. Let's give that a try. Okay. So one is basically at the very top. I think that popped out. Did it? Maybe. I never really like working on these particular screws just because they're hard to access. They're a pain in the butt. The hard part is actually getting them back in, because they're small screws and they're really far back in there, and there's a bunch of stuff around them where they can fall into. So not a super great design, but I guess it gets the job done. So now here you got to be careful because the ignition switch contacts are at the back, and if you short them out, you will have a bad time. I think that's the last screw though. Yep, that's the last one. You are going to need to work this metal cover over the ignition switch as well. There's a little rubber or vinyl piece. You kind of work that off, and then once that's off, let's see here. Oh, you just pop that off, and then just wiggle it until it gets off, I guess. Actually, we may not need to pull this off all the way. I can access the screws on the sides. Let's see here. So there's one. There's another one. Right here. And the third one is, let's see. Right there. Okay. So I'm going to clean those screws up, make sure there's no grease or anything on them, and then I will Loctite them back into place and get this column back together. I will see you guys when I have them installed and start reassembly.